Lords and ladies, another trailer has dropped for Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And this time it's the trailer for the release date, and we now know it is 31/10/2024. Not too far out, all things considered, roughly 2.5 months. And let me say at the outset that I definitely think this trailer was better than all of the previous gameplay that they've shown. That said, I have mixed feelings about this. There are things I liked about it, and things I definitely did not like about it. And generally how I approach everything in life, including games, is I try, to the best of my ability, I am a fallible human being, to be an empiricist. So everything I'm about to say about this release date trailer is based upon what I can observe and gather. So let's start with the positive. I think the environments look great. I honestly do. The buildings, the moss, the leaves, the rocks themselves, the mountains, the landscape, the environment looks really, really good. And I think they did an excellent job of that. You can see those skull statues, they look absolutely fantastic. So if anything, this has instilled a certain confidence in me in the sense that the environments will look good. And indeed, we had an inkling of that with the initial gameplay reveal, because the city of Tevinter, Minthrathis, looked quite good. The landscape, the environment. I think they absolutely nailed this. I think another thing that was good about this release date trailer was it was fairly epic, in the sense that it really conveyed to you that sense of urgency, that sense of necessity. And I would say that what this trailer has done is it's really connected the dots in a sense, painting the picture that Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a true sequel to Dragon Age Inquisition. Because all of the things that were alluded to in Dragon Age Inquisition, regarding the elven gods, regarding the titans and the dwarves, we can talk about Scout Harding in a bit, they're all coming to a head. And this trailer made that abundantly clear. What this trailer portrayed is probably what we're going to see in the game, which is as close as we're going to get to an apocalypse in Thedas. The elven gods, who were not technically gods, but they might as well be in terms of their power, have returned. There were some nice shots of them, and I thought it was a positive thing that the trailer definitely showed you the urgency and the epic nature, if you will, of this game. This is a culmination not just of Dragon Age Inquisition, but of every game prior, because everything is connected, everything's interwoven. And I would say those are the two most positive things that stood out to me. The environment and the sense of urgency, the epic nature of the game. These things were conveyed very well in the trailer that we saw. But I also have to be honest about what I thought was negative. As much as I found those two things positive, very positive indeed, I found a fair bit negative. I simply cannot wrap my head around the character design. They all look like they're made of Play-Doh. The character designs are not winning me over. Like I said, they look like they're made of Play-Doh, sort of out of plastic maybe. I don't know if this is an artifact of the Frostbite engine, but I just don't find them appealing. Regarding how they look, well, let's just put it this way. I think the male characters all look quite decent to good. Lucanus looks quite attractive, as does Davrin. The old Necromancer, it's fine, he's an old Necromancer, not a big deal. None of the character designs, or for that matter, the appearance of the female characters, wins me over here. There's just something lacking, and I've talked about it before. They're just not conventionally attractive, which is fine, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. But I, and many other people, like to escape into video games to get away from the mundane, boring stuff that we see every day, and that includes the unaesthetic. And even in the cases where the characters look good, like Lucanus, for example, they all have that very doughy look to them. I hate to use the word or the term people have referenced Fortnite. It's not quite Fortnite, but put it this way, as earnest and hardcore and dark as some of the settings look in terms of the environment, which I think they did an excellent job of based on the trailer, the character designs absolutely do not match that whatsoever based on the limited information in the trailer. Maybe when the game is released they'll come off differently, maybe they'll reveal more before that happens. There are going to be a number of reveals this month, but overall I'm not sold on the companion design, specifically the female companion design. I've made that clear before, and this trailer has only reinforced that. The males look fine to attractive, and that's great. I would just like for the female characters to look equally attractive. And speaking of Play-Doh-y designs, did you see the Darkspawn in this trailer? They look, for lack of a better word, absolutely horrific, as in bad. Each Dragon Age, admittedly, has downgraded the appearance of the Darkspawn. But this one takes the cake. They look by far the worst. And for most people, they looked by far the best in Dragon Age Origins. No, this is not just Dragon Age Origins nostalgia. They really did look better. In this trailer, the Darkspawn resemble nothing so much as glowing-eyed skeletal monkeys. Now, I've heard somewhere from some source that this is the influence of the mad scientist goddess Gilhanane, but even if it is, they look terrible. And one wonders now why the Grey Wardens were charged to protect the common folk from them in the first place. And I think this is the crux of the issue for many people, obviously myself included. If you're not overall won over by the character design, it's hard to appreciate the rest. So you have these beautiful environments and these goofy Play-Doh-esque characters walking about them. Now maybe when it comes time to play the game, it will feel different and look different. I can only base this on what I've seen. But I have to say, when it concerns this, something is indeed rotten in the Kingdom of Denmark. Let's talk about the neutral and interesting things in the trailer as well. We know that previously the developers had stated that Scout Harding would have access to some kind of magical power. We saw this here in the trailer manifesting as her petrifying some Darkspawn running at her and Rook. And we can only surmise that this is the influence of the Titans. You remember in a video I made, this is an answer to a question, what is the exact nature of the relationship of the Titans to the Dwarves? What does it all mean? And I think that Scout Harding might indeed be a linchpin here. That's obviously quite interesting. And Morgan is back, looking quite appealing in her own right. Arguably more attractive than any of the other characters. She's aging well, although maybe she's using youth magic, or indeed practicing the techniques of her adoptive mother, Flemeth. Who knows, but I think Morgan looked good here at the very least. She's obviously going to be in some advisory position, not too dissimilar to Dragon Age Inquisition and her role there. The dragons actually looked pretty good overall, in contrast to the Darkspawn and the actual characters themselves. And I think from what we can glean of the Evaneris, the Elven gods, Elgar'nan and Gilhanane respectively, from the little we could see, they look pretty good. It's possible that they're manifesting as dragons towards the end. You see the elf Belara saying, how can we face our gods, and this sort of thing. And that looked pretty interesting, although I'm a bit neutral on that. And overall, I would say that the trailer was better than the previous ones, but still very much a mixed bag. If you're not sold on the overall art style, and you don't like how action-packed it is, as opposed to strategic the way it used to be years ago, you're probably not going to like this much. Now, next week we are getting real information on the combat, which is probably the thing I want to know most. You sort of saw some finishers in this release date trailer, but I'm curious to see how that actually plays out when they show the combat proper in that reveal trailer next week. Overall, this was an improvement, but I'm still very much not sold on the idea that this game is the second coming of Christ, as some people are inclined to believe or claim. But as always, I'm very curious to see what you have to say about this. Was this trailer overall positive for you? Was it negative? For me, I would say it was absolutely in the middle. It shifted me to a slightly more positive position than before, but not overwhelmingly so. So do let me know in the comment section what you think. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you like my content, you can leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Until the next time, take care.